What's up, wrestling fans? Ratt Man, Rich Fulmer, and this is your Ratt Report TNA review. I didn't do one last week. I've been feeling a little under the weather. A lot of things going on here on this side of the camera, and that side of the camera. So I wasn't able to do it. Lockdown was off the hook. We seen the Knockouts beat the shit out of each other. Kong and Havoc beat the snot out of each other in the cage. Very good match. Very good show. Team Angle wins. Bobby Lashley joins Team Angle, takes out the BDC. And here we are. That was the last show in New York City. And this week, TNA was in Scotland. My ancestry background comes from Scotland, comes from Ireland, Scottish, Irish. Forget about the accent. We'll just keep right on going. Angle comes right out, challenges calls Bobby Lashley out. Bobby Lashley comes out and thanked him for the help, blah, blah, blah. And then he challenges Bobby Lashley. Everybody throughout the night challenged Bobby Lashley. Austin Aries has the briefcase. Bobby Roode, #1 contender. Austin Aries, #3 contender. Kurt Angle, now, as of this week, is #1 contender in the ranking. They have this ranking scale. They keep changing it. EC3 is #5. Low Key is #4. #3 and #4. I can't figure out the ranking scale on this. Next week, I'm just going to throw this out there. Next week, they're going to have a gauntlet match. And let me bring that up real quick. It's going to be a #1 contenders gauntlet, Royal Rumble rules. I say Royal Rumble rules because it's going to be 2 guys start, and then another guy will come in, another guy will come in, another guy will come in. Over the top rope, both feet have to hit the floor. You know the rules like that. So #1 through 14 are going to be randomly picked. Sam Shaw, Gunner, guys like that. Mr. Anderson, I think, is going to be in it. Hopefully not anybody from the Menagerie. I'm sorry, but really sick of them. However, 15 through 20, that last 5 are going to be based on the ranking scale. And they're going to come out in descending order. 20, 19, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The last man standing is going to be #1 contender for Bobby Lashley's title. I think this is a good idea because Gunner's talking about taking it. Austin Aries talking about taking it. Bobby Roode wants it. MVP wants it. Eric Young, I know Eric Young isn't too far behind on this one. Everybody wants this prize. Everybody. And you don't think Jeff Hardy's not going to come back? Oh, and by the way, Jeff Hardy got injured last week. James Storm hit him in the back of the head with a cowbell. Jeff Hardy rolls, hits the steps, laid right out. Hold on. So, let's just take a good look at this. Jeff Hardy, because of legal issues, he can't he can't leave the United States. He's not allowed in another country. So, we could say how it was when it first came out. The video first came out. He fell in the door. He got hit in the back of the head with a cowbell. He fell over, hit the steps. It looked bad. It looked like it hurt. And you know what? I can't imagine him walking away from that. No, I can't imagine him walking. I can't imagine me walking away from something like that. Listen, I was hanging drywall. I was up on a ladder like this. The ladder gave out on me. Down I went. I hit the ground, and I'll tell you, it hurt like hell. And I fell 4 foot. This guy was 8, 9, 10 feet in the air, 20 feet, or 8, 9 feet in the air, 10 feet in the air, and he falls and hits the hits a steel steps. Think wrestling's fake? I'd like to see you fall from there. I'm talking, he was probably, he had been good 10 feet. Just 10 feet from the steps, not from the floor. He hit the steps, rolled down, hit the floor. A work, not a work, it doesn't really matter. You know it hurt. We'll get to that later. Matt Hardy actually comes out and discusses the whole situation. And BDC comes out and challenges and says the angle is this. Lashley challenges the BDC and says the Angle's going to be his tag team partner. A bit sketchy, kind of. I'm still not sold that Bobby Lashley is a good guy. I still think that he's part of the BDC and there's something wrong with that. But whatever, be that as it may. Like I said, Bobby Lashley has a bullseye on his chest and it's on his back as well. We'll see what happens. First match was Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode. That epic match. Number 1 contender, number 3 contender. And I don't even know why Austin Aries is trying to front. Maybe he's waiting for somebody other than Bobby Lashley to become a World Heavyweight Champion before he cashes in that briefcase. I think that's a good idea. I think that's what I would do. I'd wait for Bobby Roode to get it. Because you know, Austin Aries can beat Bobby Roode. It is possible. 100% possible. Bobby Roode won. He made him tap out with a crippler crossface. It was a good match. All in all, Bobby Roode grabs the mic, helps Austin Aries up, shakes his hand, gives him props, and says he is one of the best wrestlers he's ever faced. One of the best in the world. Hey, he's the greatest man alive. Austin Aries, greatest man alive. Bottom line. And I believe that. I believe he's a hell of a talent. Austin Aries has been out there in the indies giving props to guys that he has beaten, who have beaten him. Roode grabs Mike, and, you know, like I said, he gives Aries props. Aries leaves. He still has the briefcase. He's still going to challenge the next World Heavyweight Champion if he does not challenge Bobby Lashley. So, of course, Bobby Roode challenges Bobby Lashley. Lashley's just getting it from everywhere. Everybody they talk to, everybody the cameraman talked to wants Bobby Lashley's title. I can't blame him. There's a lot of good top contenders in there, and somebody will someday take it. EY runs into the ring and attacks Bobby Roode. Now this is the beginning of this divide and conquer thing that the Beatdown Club has. My twister, my producer, my fiance said it right. A few times, but this time in particular, she says that EY is like the little Chihuahua with the rest of the big dogs, the big Great Danes and the Dobermans out there going, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? What are we going to do? Come on, who are we going to beat up now? And I understand he has his own thing, but he just doesn't fit in with the Beatdown Clan. He just doesn't fit. It has nothing to do with anything. He just doesn't fit in. It's hard to take EY serious whenever all these times since he bumped his head, falling from the top rope to the outside, bumped his head off the guardrail outside the ring. Ever since then, it's been hard to take him seriously. Listen, EY's been around since day one. He came in with Bobby Roode. You know, they were part of the Team Canada, one of the best factions. Very good faction. There's a lot of them. P. Williams came from there. The Canadian Destroyer. Do you get it? What I'm saying? You know, EY. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, I think, since he won that World Heavyweight title. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, and then Lashley beat him, which pissed him off. Maybe they gave him the focus that he needed. People's like, some people were like, you know, just keep him away from the World Heavyweight title picture altogether. He does not deserve to be in there. But you seen what he was doing in that ring was he was wrestling, he was taking challenges, he was beating people, he was doing his thing, and he was really impressive. Now, it's hard for me to buy into it. It's just really hard to do it. I can't do it. It's hard to take EY seriously. He comes in, attacks Bobby Roode, pile drives him. They help him out. He leaves the ring. They're helping him out. 2 referees carrying him out. Gets him up at the top of the ramp. EY comes out again and attacks him and pile drives him onto the floor. Now this is the beginning. We start seeing somebody, Bobby Roode, a potential help for Angle and Lashley. Bobby Roode's taken out now. Just put that in the back of your mind. Al Snow comes out. He's looking old, man. I remember, what does everybody want? What does everybody need? I get it. Al Snow was a good talent back in the day. Now he's out there picking on a guy. He's looking old. He calls out Grado from the British Boot Camp 2. I was hoping for something a little better. I see it as they see something in Grado that could bring him something. I don't know. Do you remember during Gut Check, Joey Ryan, Mr. Sleaze himself, bringing Sleaze back? He had put his leg up on a rope. I don't know. But Joey Ryan and Al Snow got into it. Actually, it was Taz and Joey Ryan, but Al Snow took it and it went a little far. Joey Ryan went around the internet and ran his mouth. They had the match. Joey Ryan won the match. He wrestled 1 or 2 matches in TNA, and then he disappeared. They seen something in Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan has gone on with the cutest couple and the world's cutest couple, and they win tag team championships. Do you understand what I'm saying? TNA really drops the ball. This is kind of why it's hard for me to watch them. It's just kind of hard for me sometimes to do a report on them because, I don't know, they're starting to anger me with them letting people go. ODB is gone now. They had the opportunity with Joey Ryan, which I'm not a fan of Joey Ryan. I'm just saying that was good talent. And now we have Grado. What are they going to do with Grado? What's next? Because Al Snow went out there and started bad-mouthing Grado's mother. Now, mind you, they're in Scotland. They're in Dublin. They're in Grado's backyard. Basically, it is his yard. This is my yard. I'm the dog of this yard. Basically what he's trying to say. Al Snow really, I mean, it didn't go very far. And then that was it. Like, Grado come out, hit Al Snow. Al Snow went off, kind of ran his mouth a little bit, and then that's it. The show went on. I don't know what they're trying to do with Grado is what I'm trying to get at. I don't know what they're trying to do. They see something in him. I didn't watch British Boot Camp. Didn't really care for it. Rockstar Spud came from it. Mandrews came from it. I don't know. Even that one, and I'll get to those two. I'll get to those two in a minute. I really don't want to cover that situation. Crazy Steve took on Bram. Squash match. Can you say squash match? I can't believe that they put somebody like Crazy Steve in a match against Bram as a squash match. It's another thing that they're doing. It's really pissing me off. It's a squash match. And Tracy, I said it before, I'll say it again, she was right. It was because he is from Britain. He is British. Bram won the match. It was a complete squash match. And I get it. Now they're drawing up to, Bram versus Magnus. I'm surprised that Magnus actually wasn't there, considering. Even though he got hit in the back of the head with a cue ball, I'm surprised he wasn't there because they're not in England or in Scotland. Who knows? Maybe Magnus needed to take some time off to be with his baby. Who's his wife? Hardcore country! You get it. Okay, it is time. This is really hard. I'm going to be honest with you. Because I wouldn't have it any other way. EC3 versus Trainwreck. EC3 and Trainwreck versus Mandrews and Spud and JB. It was a disgusting match. Who were those two guys that took on EC3 when he first came in? The two little guys. Norbert and Burgundy or something. I don't know. Burgundy, I'm just making that up. Norbert, and then there was another guy. They're two little guys anyway. And they were part of Billy Corgan's group though out there in Detroit, wrestling company. Whenever they were trying to get Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins was trying to buy TNA. They came from that. They were just jobbers, man. Jobbers. I could get in the ring, and I would be a jobber against EC3. I can't stand EC3. I can't stand Trainwreck. His real name is Tyrus, but I have a real hard time calling him Trainwreck. I didn't like him when he was Brodus Clay. I couldn't stand him when he was Brodus Clay in WWE, and I can't stand him now. That's why I call him Trainwreck. This is painful, truly painful to watch. It's crap. They're wasting my time and insulting my intelligence. I've seen Rockstar Spud win the OVW TV title against a big guy, bigger than EC3. The man would dominate EC3, and it pisses me off that they're putting this crap on TV. I mean, EC3 wins, Trainwreck, headlock driver, lights go out, and this was the highlight of the night, kind of made my day. Did you ever watch the cartoons where Bugs Bunny, and I think this was the angle they were going for. Did you ever see the cartoons of Bugs Bunny? The older folks, you know, Elmer Fudd with his gun. I'm hunting for rabbits. And he gets his gun, and Bugs Bunny comes up to him and says, "Yeah, what's up, Doc?" And he's like, "I'm hunting for rabbits." "Well, look over there," he says. "See something?" Hey, wait a minute. So Mr. Anderson, he's there. He's like, "Come on. Yeah, these two freaking idiots. I'm talking Trainwreck and EC3. Hey, wait a minute." And Trainwreck actually had that stupid look on his face like, okay, it was his normal look. His stupid look. He's always got that. I've had that look when I've been too drunk. Hey, wait a minute. Mr. Anderson he beats the shit out of both of them. I think they're going to set up. I hope Mr. Anderson, you know what I want? I want to see Mr. Anderson TNA World Heavyweight Champion for the third time. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him with freaking Sergeant Norbert and Mandrews and Spud and JB, threw Norbert in there. I don't want to see him in that kind of thing. He deserves to be with the big dogs. That's it. I don't know what he did to TNA Brass to piss him off, but he's definitely low on the totem pole. Like, I don't know if they're holding him down for some reason. He was really big during the Immortal era, the Hulk Hogan era. The one thing that Hogan and Bischoff did do good was bring Anderson in and push him. Now that he's being held back and involved in this This is just crap. That whole section is crap. I don't care who you are. I really don't want to cover EC3 and Trainwreck, Spud, Mandrews, JB. I don't want to cover any of that anymore. I'm going to try really hard not to. The reason why I do is because I know there's some EC3 fans out there. I'm sorry. I just can't stand any of it. Let's move on. Kenny King and Low Ki attacked Gunner during his promo. Now we're seeing the numbers game. Let's see. We've seen the Aces and Eights do that before. We've seen NWO do that before. We've even seen the originators of attacks backstage and front stage. The Four Horsemen. They are the originals. I don't care what you say. And now Kenny King is and Low Ki attack Gunner. Gunner's talking about, last year at this time, and it's true, he had Magnus beat. If it wasn't for James Storm super kicking him in the face, he would have had it. Gunner, top rope, going for the splash, going for the flying headbutt. James Storm super kicks him, lays him out. Magnus gets the win, retains the title. You get the picture. Now he's talking, I was there, this close to getting it, and James Storm ruined it for him. And Friday night, Kenny King, Low Ki, during Gunner's promo, attack him, take him out completely. Now that's number 2 down. Bobby Roode and Gunner. Knockouts action. So Madison Rayne comes out and she's like, oh, I'm the Queen Bee. I've done this in TNA. I've done that in TNA. 3 years ago, I was the Queen Bee. I was the greatest of all time. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if she said all time, but I threw that in there. I agree. Madison Rayne was a great champion. Like it or not, she was a good champion. And then you hear, boom, boom, like during the promo, and I'm like, I knew what it was. I knew what it was right away, and I didn't even know she was gonna face Kong, and I just kept thinking, Kong. And she's talking some more again. Boom, boom. Yeah. And she's like, you gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. And then the music hits. And all I kept thinking is, Kong's gonna kill you. Kong's gonna kill you. I think they forget that Kong and her implant buster was a dominant force in TNA before. So Kong comes out in a match. It wasn't even a match. The bell rang in the beginning. Kong comes out. The match, the bell rings. Kong beat Madison Rayne like she was a stuffed fucking animal. She was a teddy bear. When I was a kid, I used to pretend like I was a wrestler. And I would beat up on this big teddy bear I had. It was life size. For me, it was life size. It stood pretty tall. And it stood eye to eye with me. So that was my teddy bear. That was what I fought with. That was my opponent. Gave them different names. Ric Flair, Sting, Dusty Rhodes, blah, blah, blah. You get the picture. I was young. I was really young. Yeah, I had that. Third eye's right here, buddy. And this match reminded me of that because Kong destroyed Madison Rayne, destroyed her. She might as well have just laid down, 2-finger poke of death, laid it out, been like, just pin me. I don't want to get beat up anymore. Kong just destroys her. Last week she fought Havoc. It was a good match. There was no destruction. But this week, forget it. Madison Rayne got her ass handed to her 5-10 times over, 20,000 times over. I bet she felt like she got ran over by a steam train. Instead, she got gobbled up, swallowed, the shit out by Kong. Kong wins with the implant buster. Of course, the match started. No. The bell rang. Kong ate chewed, swallowed shit. The bell rang and it was over. Kong won. I think Kong's gonna be so Terrence Terrell's this knockouts champion, and Kong is back. See, get where I'm going with this? She beat former KO champion Havoc. She just destroyed former KO champion Mastering for how many times she beat her in the past? The implant buster for a reason. Implants, bam! I had to do it for ODB. But you get my point. You know where she's going to. So Aries talks to Kurt Angle. It was good mutual respect, I think. I think that there's a mutual respect there. They fought many times before. Austin Aries, again, another one that wants that shot. He has that briefcase. We all says it. Let's see what happens next. Matt reveals the condition of Jeff Hardy, and just as he's about to do that, James Storm comes out, offers Matt Hardy a spot with the Revolution. Let's think about this. How many times has Jeff Hardy, or Matt Hardy, actually turned on his brother Jeff? A lot. A few times. Don't you think that it would happen again? You know what I thought would have been cool is if the Kingdom was to come out and help Matt Hardy. It didn't work out. Will Matt Hardy say, okay, I'll join? Or is he just straight up, because he was like, you know what? Because he gave him an ultimatum. James Storm gave him an ultimatum. Join us or die. You get it. Did you ever watch Queen of the Damned? That's what it reminded me of. Join me or die. You get it. He said that Jeff has a really comfortable bed, really nice bed, and he starts hitting on James Storm. Revolution comes in. I almost said Beatdown Clan. It's the same thing. Revolution comes in, beats him up. Then the Wolves come out. Listen, a few weeks ago, Jeff Hardy said that if it wasn't for Matt Hardy coming out, he wouldn't have won Monsters Ball. I recall the Wolves coming out while Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy are laid the fuck out. The Wolves came out and saved the day. They didn't get no recognition. This time, the Wolves come out, clear the ring again, help Matt Hardy to his feet. Let's see if they get any recognition. They didn't last time, but they saved the day. BDC out back. Austin Aries is cutting a promo. BDC attacks them again. This time, not only all four of them, they throw Austin Aries outside. They toss the briefcase with them. Now we see 3 people getting beat up by the BDC. And now it brings us to the main event. There's nobody out there that's going to help out. Fans, my gift to you, as always, the main event. Bobby Lashley and Kurt Angle versus Joe and MVP. Listen, follow me on Twitter. I had a Twitter account all this time. Like my Ratt Report page on Facebook. I'm trying to get out there more. Sooner or later, I'm going to figure out Tumblr. I'll probably do that. A few other ones. Whatever social media sites. I'm just trying to get myself out there more and more and more. Find me on Twitter. This is Ratman. You'll see it. You'll see the Ratt Report. All my videos that are posted on YouTube goes directly to my Twitter account. My fire-breathing Twitter machine. This is what I'm on right now. Like me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. Do it. Subscribe to down below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.
This is our main event on Friday Night Impact. On one side of the ring, Kurt Angle. He teams with the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Lashley against Samoa Joe and MVP of the Beatdown Clan. Keep in mind, Kenny King and Loki are ringside for this tag team main event.
There aren't many people that can trade holds with someone to the level of a Kurt Angle. But Samoa Joe, the Samoan submission machine, well, he probably can. I switch into that hammerlock by Angle. Left himself open and either elbow. Look at that arm drag by Kurt.
When Kurt Angle resigned as the executive director of wrestling operations back in January and put himself on the active roster, Angle's first match was against Samoa Joe. These two have a long history. Joe's undefeated streak in Impact Wrestling was ended by Kurt Angle. Joe was undefeated, Taz, as you know, for 18 months.
Yeah, that in itself, how impressive is that, especially with the talent level of our roster. For those that didn't see it, Lashley tagged himself in as Kurt's back was being backed up to the corner, hence why he's in the ring. Look at these stinging jabs by Joe. That's the World Heavyweight Champion he's tagging, man. That's not just some ham and egger. And
you alluded to the fact earlier that Lashley and Kurt Angle, not exactly friends. This night began when Kurt Angle said, hey, I want an opportunity at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Lashley said, you can have it, and then out came the BDC, and what has developed is this tag team match here tonight. The BDC has been busy, though, tonight.
Oh, yeah, they're always busy, because that's MVP. That's what they want to put the beat down on everybody. For the athleticism there, that leapfrog, standing still leapfrog by Lashley, the World Heavyweight Champion. Such a specimen this guy is, man.
Very agile. Lashley got grazed there on the back of the neck from MVP. Caught the attention of Lashley, allowing Samoa Joe to capitalize. Strategy here for the BDC to keep Lashley in their corner.
Yeah, I think that's what you want to try to do. Tough to do with someone as strong and quick and athletic and powerful as Lashley. But right now, MVP just putting it on. His former buddy, his former guy, man, and Lashley. Never thought I'd see this happen with these two. Look at what happened during the summertime. The relationship with MVP, Kenny King, and Lashley was so tight. The bond was so tight.
MVP feels responsible for all the success of Lashley, not only here in Impact Wrestling, as MVP goes for the first cover of the match and a kick out by Lashley. How surprised were you last week? Lethal Lockdown, Team Angle only had 3 members. The BDC was strong with 4, and out comes Lashley. And really the line was divided at that point. Lashley became a part of Team Angle.
Well, we saw it last week where Kurt Angle put it on. He said backstage in the locker room area, he said to Lashley, I'm paraphrasing, but do the right thing, man. Come out and fight the good fight against the BDC. Lashley was like, no, you're on your own, whatever. And then Lashley did the right thing and came out there and did do the right thing. Not only helped Team Angle win it, but he was the reason why they won it.
Big shot by Joe, and you gotta love the competitive nature of all the wrestlers on Impact Wrestling. Everyone is focused on what they should be focused on, and that's becoming TNA World Heavyweight Champion. You heard Aries, before he was assaulted by the BDC, told Kurt Angle, hey Kurt, you're gonna have a big bullseye on you if you're world champion. Kurt Angle said, I welcome that bullseye.
Oh, totally, and it all begins with this ranking system. The top 5 that come out every week on Unlock. We'll see tomorrow, as you said, with Mike Tenay putting it down.
Right there.
Oh, right here on Destination America. But yeah, it's the top 5 that creates that competitiveness.
And tomorrow morning, Unlocked, 10 Eastern, as MVP hooks one leg, grapevines the other. Still not enough to put away Lashley.
No, MVP, he's speaking of top 5, he's sitting in the 4-hole. He's ranked 4th. And Kurt Angle's right in the 2-hole as the 2nd. So, you know, they're right in that top 5.
And again, 90% chance that number 1 right now, Bobby Roode, will not be able to compete next week in the 20-man over-the-top rope gauntlet match. The winner of that will go on 2 weeks from tonight to challenge Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I say Lashley as the current reigning champion. Who knows what can happen next week?
Well, we know there's a great chance that Austin Aries, who's ranked 3rd, will not come out here at any point tonight and cash in what he has in that briefcase for a world title shot, because as we saw, the BDC chucked him out the building, beat him up.
Yeah, Aries and his briefcase with a World Championship contract thrown out of the Hydro here in Glasgow, Scotland. Our attention is on our main event. The two legal men in this match, Samoa Joe, who just snatched up Lashley.
Nice doing it all. He knew to go for that first one. Uranagi was Joe. That doubling would have been doing in that corner. Great counter by the world champ.
Tough to do against someone the size of Lashley, though.
Yeah, but we've seen Joe do it to big dudes, but
how smart.
He's holding the wrist, yeah, grabbing Lashley, but didn't work. Trying to prevent him from getting Kurt in here, but Kurt's in.
Hands locked, German suplex to Samoa Joe. Another one for MVP. Pick your poison here if you're Kurt Angle. Angle slam, Joe's down. Angle into the cover, hooks the leg, and MVP breaks it up in two. Referee Brian Hebner's done a great job so far in making sure that the legal combatants stay in this ring in this all-star tag team matchup. Rake to the eyes there by Samoa Joe, buys him some time, and here comes MVP.
Look at those knees right there, right straight in the solar plexus, right underneath your sternum, right in the go!
I know you believe in the power of positive thinking. What do you think about what MVP said? Hold that thought. Roll through here, and Angle pops for you, too. At the beginning of the night, MVP said, guys, what happened last week in Lethal Lockdown never happened. We turn our attention to tonight.
Well, it's obvious MVP's in denial. I mean, he's not going to admit what happened. He's going to act like it's just, you know, erased from the wrestling annals, if they really are annals.
I like what you said earlier, that MVP is a master manipulator. Oh, an MVP big clothesline there to Kurt Angle. Angle, shoulders down, lateral press and a kick out of two.
The MVP had a little bit of a perplexed look on his face, like, thought I would get the win there, and it didn't work. But he keeps his poise, does MVP. Like this guy or not, he's a true pro. He's well faceted in that ring too. Not just traditional style pro wrestling, Japanese strong style submission. Look at that, yeah.
Once again, for the second time in this match, low-key the X Factor. MVP again looking for another cover.
Got a rope there, got a rope break.
MVP slides Kurt out to the middle of the ring. Kurt's still able to kick out. Keep in mind that when a wrestler is being pinned, he has an opportunity to get his hand underneath the rope, on a rope. Therefore, the ref will break it up.
See Kurt Angle right there. Took a shot right in the ribs. Ooh. And there's a history with these two cats for sure. Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle.
And we talked about it earlier. And now Samoa Joe. Potential submission maneuver here for Kurt Angle.
Well, you control the head, right? That's what they say, you control the body. And it's definitely true. You also got an overhook on the right arm. That helps control a 13-time world champion in Kurt Angle. Joe knows what he's doing.
And the BDC is such a cohesive unit. Want retribution for what happened last week inside Lethal Lockdown. Defeated by Team Angle. Trying to right that wrong are the BDC here tonight. Oh! Kurt Angle has talked about being in the trenches, wanting to fight, wanting to rid Impact Wrestling of the BDC. And Angle, not sure if Angle caught all of that drop kick off the middle rope there.
It was enough to shut down Joe and stop Joe.
But Joe is still in between Kurt Angle and Lashley at the moment.
Well, the issue is Kurt having a hard time getting to his feet, so he's able to crawl over and get in Lash.
And here comes MVP as well. Powerful clothesline there by Lashley.
Look at this man, the world champion. What an athlete. Just a monster.
It's Lashley.
He's in its own, buddy.
One spear away from putting away the BDC.
Look at that power.
And strength.
Talk about revenge. That's what Lashley wants towards MVP. All that history. Ooh.
High elbow there by MVP. Able to play some defense for a second. Planted off the spine buster. MVP down and Joe breaks it up at two.
Well, he had him.
Oh, and Kurt Angle flies in.
We knew this tag team match would be a battle. It sure is.
It's Lashley and MVP.
Legal men.
And Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle catches Joe in an ankle lock here, but
well, look at confused look on the face of Lashley, who sidesteps Kurt Angle.
he's not legal. He's not what
And MVP rolls up Lashley.
and the tights and everything, but wow.
Here are your winners, the team of Samoa Joe and MVP, the Beatdown Clan.
The master manipulator strikes again, man. MVP saw that opening, and for the opportunist, steals a victory on the champ.
You can see the wheels starting to spin in the mind of Lashley. The celebration continues for the BDC on the outside.
Man, I'll tell you, Kurt just got wrapped up in a moment. He hooked Samoa Joe in that ankle lock. The legal man was MVP and Lashley. And Lashley was, I don't know maybe if Kurt was in the way with that ankle lock with Joe or what. It just, again, there's not chemistry between Lashley and Kurt, obviously.
Is it an instance where you get so caught up in the competition?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Bodies flying all over the place. Kurt Angle said, what are you talking about, my fault? And you have to question whether or not this was going to happen regardless when you teamed up Lashley and Kurt Angle. This is really starting to build here between the world champion and Kurt Angle at the conclusion of Friday Night Impact.